I watched many side hustle videos. The one thing I noticed is what came highly recommended was virtual assistant, but there was one part missing. And I noticed one thing, that they weren't really telling you what type of virtual assistant you can become in detail. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 8 different types of virtual assistants that you could actually become and do it as a side hustle. Along the way, I actually found 1 or 2 different types of virtual assistants that were kind of unheard of. So let's talk about it. And this is just a side note. Saying that you want to become a virtual assistant is such a broad thing to say. There's so much that you can do as a virtual assistant. You would do way more better when you niche down. And I want to be clear about this. Niching doesn't mean that you're niching to a certain demographic. So you're not saying, well, I'm just there to help business owners. Niching is about solving a problem. So you're dedicated to that, solving that problem only. The first one is becoming a tech VA. Now, why this is perfect for you? This is perfect for someone who's really good with computers. So just hear me out here. You don't need to do any type of coding or anything like that. Some of the tasks that they would be doing is dealing with integrations. So you're setting up connections between certain softwares. You're doing website creations. And keep in mind, this can be all drag and drop, right? So you're going on easy platforms like Squarespace, Wix, WordPress. You can even do funnel building, which would be with ClickFunnels. They maybe also be setting up payment gateways and processors. You would be the person that they go to. You understand anything about tech. You'll be able to solve that problem for the business owner. Administration. Who this would be perfect for is someone who is detail oriented and good with admin tasks. Now I'm gonna go a little bit deeper on what that means. So the things that you'll be doing is checking their inbox. So that could be responding to emails, even organizing their inbox, getting it down to 0, only sending them the important emails that they need to respond to, organizing reports, creating and organizing spreadsheets, doing data entry. You would essentially be making things easier for them. You could also be organizing their to-do lists and their scheduling and making sure that they're on task. You would be doing any task that you could do online or on a computer where it's related to admin type work. Also, you could be even creating systems, creating SOPs, which just means that you're creating certain steps in the business for them. So if the next person came in, they'd be able to follow a document step by step on how to do a certain task. So you may be in charge of creating steps. So that's why it requires someone that's very detail oriented. So if you're a person that loves doing those type of tasks, that likes doing admin type tasks, it's for you, baby. It's for you. The next one is social media. And I know everyone talks about it. And they're always like, well, you could do social media. But what can you do as a social media virtual assistant? Obviously, why this would be perfect for you is you need to be comfortable and love being on social media. And you should have some type of eye for design. And if it's included, being able to write captions. So a little bit of copywriting. Also, you should be able to do time management, love creating. That should light you up when you think about having to create on a social media platform. So why I say time management, and I actually have done this for pages as well myself, is you need to be able to plan in advance, because the whole point of why they hire you, you're trying to plan posts in advance so they can then get approval, so then you can then post them where the business owner wouldn't have to worry about it. So time management plays a big role. Like, you shouldn't be scrambling every time they put out a new post for them. Another thing is you might be doing Facebook page management or Facebook groups. It may be entailing on being on Instagram, creating the actual carousels, creating different posts, creating the captions. It depends on the business owner what they want. You may be creating the stories on Instagram or Facebook, depending on the platform. And also, you're going to be a person that needs to be able to brainstorm. You need to be able to map, because you need to be able to come up with ideas. Because the whole point why the business owner would be hiring you is because they're looking for someone to be able to generate ideas that goes along with their brand. And by the way, this one is actually a very unique one, because I don't see a lot of people do this. And even when I tried to do research to see who currently do it, it was very far in between, but it's so needed. Like, this is a really hot one. The next one is becoming a content repurpose type VA. And why it would be perfect for you is it's perfect for someone who can basically create from a current or old piece of content that was already put out there, that was already created by that said company. So a good question to ask yourself is, are you good at repurposing content? So what that may mean is you might take their current live video, transcribe it on otter.ai. You would pull information from there and create that into post, like long form written post, short form written post. Maybe pull out a quote and turn that into a quote post. Or maybe you'd pull out something that they said in that live video, turn that into a whole written post, because there's a certain point that they can elaborate on. And we could keep on going. If they have a long written post, they could probably turn that into a quote post and turn that long written post again into a live video, turn that long written post into a question for engagement. For being this type of repurposing type VA, you need to be really good at turning basically one piece of content into 5, 10 different pieces. So if this is something that interests you, you can go to Michelle Lang's Instagram page and you're gonna see that she has different content about how to repurpose, even lives on doing this, and she really does a really good job of showing you how. So if this is something you're curious about, definitely check her out. You can specialize in becoming a bookkeeping VA. So who is this perfect for? This is perfect for someone who is very good with numbers and staying organized and staying on top of things. Because if you're going to be bookkeeping everyone's expenses, you better be organized and be able to stay on top of things and be able to be very organized. Actually, like, I have to stress that. So essentially what you're doing here is you're going to be recording and keeping everything organized for any of the expenses that you're doing for a business. So I remember when I had my e-commerce business, I actually did this myself, but it was still kind of a hassle, and I kind of wish I got a bookkeeper. But I basically did that job so that way when my taxes were ready, I was able to just send the file over to my accountant and be like, here you go. So that's the beauty of a bookkeeper. If you choose to do something like this, you would basically be a godsend to that business owner. And the good thing about this role, as much as it sounds very important, you don't need to be certified, like you don't need to be some CPA or anything like that. All it requires you is to take a course. If you do a quick search in groups, especially on Facebook, you'll be able to see who people are recommending, who people recommend to take the best course out there, and you'll usually know by the most popular courses that people recommend. The next one is not as mainstream, kind of popular but not as mainstream as, let's say, an admin VA or a social media VA, and this one's podcasting. So with becoming a podcasting virtual assistant, why this would be perfect is if you're really good with doing launches, you're good with making connections, because a lot of times people on podcasts need interviewees, and you're someone that's really good with managing, helping someone manage their podcast show. So you'd be able to do editing, be able to put all the pieces together to have the podcast ready, coordinate dates, schedule out, of course, launch, basically be in charge of their PR. So that's for you if these are skills that you have or you feel like you could be really good at. And I feel like this is one of those roles where if you're really good at the production part as well as the connection part, you'll do so well becoming a podcast virtual assistant. So the next one is pretty unheard of, but it is out there. It's just that it's one of those things where you're like, I would actually like doing that. A lifestyle type VA, or I would call it almost like a personal concierge, or you could even call it an executive assistant. So this would be someone who's in charge of the household, obviously online, where you can be charged with booking appointments for them, booking family activities, anything they need to get done. If they have to book like doctor appointments, organizing anything for the home, organizing meal plans, anything they would need help with. And I found for myself too, where sometimes I'm like, oh, this would actually be very useful, because sometimes I'm so busy with my business that I don't get time to do all the personal stuff at home. So everything becomes pushed to the back burner, right, of things that needs to be done in the actual home, because I'm always working on my own things. So this is kind of like a personal concierge. So you'll pretty much organize everything that they would need for their home in terms of house management. So I thought this one was pretty cool. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So this one's pretty unheard of. And this one's actually the last one, a social seller VA. Social seller VA. Wow, that's a tongue twister. This is perfect for you if you're really good at connecting and generating leads. So the purpose of this is You're basically their go-to on the social media end, where you're the networker, you're the person that's connecting, commenting, replying to comments, talking in the DMs further in terms of sales, especially if people are interested in the said product. Basically, you're that middleman between the salesperson and the company. So you will be able to close sales by social selling, and I would say even connecting. So you would be there for launches, you'd be there for if there's any type of challenges, you'll be responding to emails, offering any type of support, creating sales conversations when you see the opportunity. I have actually done this and it's actually quite fun because you get to socialize in comments. So if you're a person that you love chatting with people, obviously I mean typing when I say chatting, and you like connecting, you would do so well in this role. This is something that's getting more and more popular because people love personable. So if there's someone that's always responding to comments, answering questions, and you're able to answer whatever they need, most likely it's going to turn into a sale. So this is for you if you love generating leads and creating conversation. You like to chat, basically. Here are groups that you can connect in so you can get your potential first client, and you could also learn, see what other people are doing, and also be there and ready for someone who may need a VA. And let me show you this part. Hey, so I wanted to show you potential gigs that you could find, especially if you want to tap into the virtual assistant world, and you want to get some clients, right? Because that's the whole point. And I found one of the easiest way was literally going on Facebook groups, basically searching them out and jumping on them. These are what people are doing. Like they're literally jumping on them as soon as they see them. I wanted to show you. So this is one of them. Women helping women entrepreneur. This is a very huge group, and you're gonna find you need to scroll, but I'm gonna show you in a sec like how you could search. So for example, like one option is you can scroll down. Example, you'll see stuff like this, basically saying, "Hey, like I'm in need of this." They're basically saying, "Hey, I need like an SEO specialist," and you'll see like tons of comments. And I'm just showing you an example. I'm not saying you're gonna be a SEO specialist over here. Continue on. We can continue to search, and you see there's a lot of offers in here, so you have to find them out. So what I would do is I would just type in virtual assistant jobs and see like what is the most recent stuff that's been out there. So like most recent, so you see stuff like this. Like this was 19 hours ago. They're considering to bring one on, and they tell you what. So if you were going to, how do you determine what you would sign them? She's asking questions. So you want to be in someone's radar like that. So for example, this was February 15th. So this was recent. And she's like, hey, I've been looking for someone on Fiverr, Upwork, but I feel I'd rather see if anyone from here is a virtual assistant can help me with a one-time product. I need research on an Excel sheet. So there you go, admin, and 100 vetted influencers in the beauty and fashion industry, right? And you see how many comments. So what you do is you comment and remember where you would have your portfolio. And then you'd be like, hey, like, I currently can do that, definitely can do that. And you might post your website. This may take testing, but it does work. Like people do get clients from here. And you'll keep on going, and you see like as you start to respond, what happens is Facebook will automatically in its algorithms will start showing you posts like these. Believe me or not, if you just comment and post like this, eventually all you'll see is these type of posts. And so this one is another one. I'm currently looking for a virtual assistant based in US or Canada, and it's for going NFT products. So I prefer someone projects, sorry. So I prefer someone that is involved in the NFT space or has been wanting to learn. Right, and you see there's more positions here. So if you feel that your experience in NFT, and keep in mind, you can always learn. You can still apply and learn the skill. Like you don't have to be perfect. Don't get in that mindset where you're like, oh, I can't apply because I have no experience. You have to start from somewhere. I'm gonna show you another one, virtual savvies. There's so many. So virtual assistant savvies. And a lot of this is you go in this group and it's all made up of VAs, like starting out. Also, there's business owners who post. So like example, this is a job op 1 minute ago. My client is in search of assistant part-time to start a potential room to go for the right fit, inbox managing, meeting follow-ups, and then she tells you her job requirements, how to submit, all that good stuff. And you see that's a potential 1 minute ago. And so imagine if you turn on notifications, you'll see the notifications pop up right away. And this continues onwards. Like you're going to see a lot of job ops in this group. Then a job op, you see, and they tell you what type of VA they're looking for. Another thing too is you could just click here. The only thing is you can't really put it in order. So you'll see how it's all rumbled up. But hey, I would go crazy right here. So you can just keep on going here. And then another third group, because I wanted to get you guys started, right? So like, especially with the things I suggested, I want you guys to be able to explore and look at what's possible and see like, okay, based on the different types of VA work, you can go in these groups and be like, okay, what am I most comfortable with? What can I apply to? What am I willing to learn? And all that stuff. And you can see what people are requiring. And so basically how this will work, you read the description, you click on it, and then you would apply and go through the process. And it's very simple. Let's show you a third group, connections. And so if you go through here, so you see here, there's a job right here. Social media assistant open for all. Newbies, mid experience, experience, job description, creating IG posts and IG stories. You see India, she's like, okay, fill out the form. Done. Like, how cool is that? Like, how there's groups like this where you can jump on. You could be applying to 5 jobs a day, 10 jobs a day. If you really want that job, you go all in, baby. All in. So I just wanted to show you this so you can see like how everything works in terms of applying for jobs, where you would go. And these are some of the groups you can start with. Of course, there's many more, but this is a great start.